The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across my ranch as I fired up the smoker for what I'd been planning for weeks, a proper welcome-home barbecue for my brother Jake, who just returned from his second deployment overseas. The smell of hickory smoke and seasoning meat filled the air, mixing with the laughter already bubbling up from the 24 people milling around my property. I'm Marcus Webb, sheriff's deputy for the past 12 years, and this 100-acre ranch had been in my family for 3 generations. When my grandfather passed it down to me 5 years ago, it came with one significant problem. The neighboring property had been bought up by a developer who'd carved it into a cookie-cutter HOA community called Meadowbrook Estates. The houses pressed right up against my property line, like they were trying to squeeze me out. "Marcus, these ribs are looking absolutely perfect," shouted Deputy Chief Anderson, my direct supervisor, as he approached with beer in hand. Behind him, I could see at least 15 other officers from various departments, county sheriffs, state troopers, even a couple firefighters, all in casual clothes, all here to celebrate Jake's homecoming. My brother stood near the barn, surrounded by friends, his face finally showing some of the tension melting away. He'd been through hell, and this party was about reminding him he was home, he was safe, and he was loved. Just trying to do right by the family recipe. I called back, flipping a rack and watching the glaze caramelize. Grandpa would haunt me if I messed this up. That's when I saw her. Linda Pritchard, president of the Meadowbrook Estates HOA, was marching across the field that separated our properties. Her phone pressed to her ear, her face twisted in that particular expression of righteous fury I'd come to recognize over the past few years. She was a thin woman in her late 50s, always dressed like she was heading to a business meeting even on weekends, and she made her personal mission to make my life miserable since the day she'd moved in. "Here we go," I muttered to Anderson, who followed my gaze and groaned. "Not again. What is it this time? Your grass is too tall? Your horses are too loud." "Who knows? Last month she filed a complaint because my rooster was disturbing the peace at 6 a.m. Lady, you moved next to a working ranch. What did you expect?" Linda stopped at the property line. She was always very careful about that, and I could hear her shrill voice carrying across the distance. "Yes, officer, I'm reporting a massive disturbance. There are dozens of people, loud music, and what appears to be some kind of illegal gathering. The smoke is drifting into our community, and I'm concerned about public safety." I set down my tongs and walked toward her, wiping my hands on my apron. Several of my guests noticed and started drifting in my direction, curious about the commotion. "Linda," I called out calmly, "it's a family barbecue for my brother, who just got back from serving overseas." She lowered her phone slightly, her eyes narrowing. "I don't care if it's the president himself, Marcus. You're creating a nuisance. The HOA bylaws clearly state. Your HOA bylaws have no jurisdiction over my property." I interrupted, keeping my voice level. "We've been over this multiple times. This is private land, not part of your development. The smoke is drifting. It's a barbecue. That's what smoke does." Her face flushed red. "Don't you dare take that tone with me. I'm on the phone with 911 right now, and they're sending units. You'll see that you can't just do whatever you want out here." Behind me, I heard someone chuckle. Then another. I glanced back and saw that a small crowd had gathered. Deputy Chief Anderson, 3 sergeants, 5 patrol officers, 2 state troopers, and our county's fire chief, all watching with varying degrees of amusement. Linda raised her phone again, her voice dripping with dramatic urgency. "Yes, I'm still here. Please hurry. There are vehicles everywhere, people drinking alcohol, and I believe they may be trespassing. The property owner is being extremely hostile and threatening." "Ma'am, I haven't said a single threatening thing to you," I said calmly, making sure my body language remained neutral. 12 years in law enforcement had taught me how to de-escalate, even when I wanted to do anything but. Your very presence is threatening, she shrieked. You and your gang of thugs. I know what this is. This is intimidation, because I stand up for my community's rights. Anderson stepped forward, unable to contain himself any longer. Ma'am, I'm Deputy Chief Paul Anderson with the County Sheriff's Department. I can assure you, this is a private, peaceful gathering on private property. No laws are being broken. Linda's eyes went wide, then suspicious. Oh, I see. You're all in on it together. That's how it is, isn't it? The good old boys club, protecting one of their own. Ma'am, Anderson started, but she cut him off. Save it. The police are already on their way. We'll see what they have to say about all this. She stomped back toward her development. Phone still pressed to her ear, launching into what sounded like a complaint about police corruption to whoever was unfortunate enough to be on the other end of that call. Well, said Sergeant Maria Gonzalez, one of my oldest friends on the force, this should be entertaining. We didn't have to wait long. About 10 minutes later, 2 patrol cars pulled up my long driveway, lights off but clearly responding to a call. I recognized both officers immediately, Danny Foster and Christine Park, both from my department. Danny got out first, took one look at the gathering, and his confused expression slowly transformed into a grin. You've got to be kidding me. Let me guess, I called out. Complaint from Linda Pritchard about a disturbance? Christine was checking her phone, presumably the call details, and she started laughing. Oh man, the call said there was a large, aggressive gathering with possible gang activity and illegal weapons. Illegal weapons. Anderson looked around at the clearly visible barbecue setup, the kids playing cornhole, the patrol officers in Hawaiian shirts holding burgers. What weapons? Maybe she means these killer ribs, Jake said, walking up with a plate, because these could definitely be classified as dangerously delicious. Danny was shaking his head, still grinning. Marcus, man, she calls about you at least twice a month. Dispatch actually has a special note on your address now. What does it say? I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know. It says, frequent frivolous calls from neighbor. Property owner is Deputy M. Webb. Exercise discretion. Christine nodded toward the Meadowbrook development. Should we go talk to her? Explain the situation? Please, I said. Maybe coming from responding officers, she'll finally understand she can't just weaponize 911 because she doesn't like her neighbors. The 2 officers headed toward Linda's house, while the rest of us returned to party. The mood, if anything, had gotten even better. There's something about a shared antagonist that brings people together. 20 minutes later, Danny and Christine returned, both looking somewhat shell-shocked. So, Anderson asked. She demanded we arrest Marcus for disturbing the peace, trespassing, assault, and theft of her peaceful enjoyment of her.